Very good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new daily market outlook. So the current situation in the world is a bit crazy right now, so I just want to ask you guys before we dive in and look at these charts to stay safe, watch your back, because the current military political situation in the world is just super crazy. After COVID, now this political and military situation, the world is pretty fucked up at the moment. I don't know if YouTube is going to allow me to say that, but that's just it, and it is what it is. But yeah, with that said, let's just dive in, see what is going on, and yeah, let's have a look at those major dollar. So starting off with the dollar index, what we've currently seen on the 4-hour is a breakout in towards the highs. So what do we expect after a breakout? We expect a pullback. So what I'm currently watching is this zone over here for resistance. This is some kind of a supply zone. Also on the lower time frame, this is going to be a nice liquidity high. And as we can see, we took at the high and have now kind of seen that straight retracement. So not really trying to call any pullback over here due to the current political situation, of course, but it could be an indication of that pullback. I am, however, expecting the dollar index to start pushing up higher and higher in the near future, back up all the way to create a new higher high in the near future. So yeah, the 4-hour is looking good. And why is the 4-hour looking good, and why did we see that big explosion? Well, of course, everybody is familiar with what currently is going on in Russia. However, I just want to summarize it for you. So Putin authorizes military operation in the east. Explosions have been heard in Kiev and across Ukraine. Kiev declares a state of emergency and has called up its reservists and the UN Security Council to discuss a resolution on Thursday. So Russian forces fired missiles at several cities in Ukraine and have landed troops on its coasts on Thursday, so today. Officials and media said that after Vladimir Putin authorized what he called a special military operation in the east. So he televised and addressed the Russian state on Russian state TV, and explosions could be heard in the pre-dawn quiet of the Ukrainian capital of Kiev. So Reuters is one of my go-to websites for news. Definitely check it out. But yeah, this is just a massive political and military situation, which is going to have a major effect on current markets. So of course, a lot of people are stressing about what is going to be happening in the market, but just remember, of course, we can create a very terrible situation, but in every single terrible situation there are going to be opportunities. So just think about it. So what we're currently seeing, for instance, is that Russia provides 30%, I think, of the European wheat and grain, so for what we use for bread in Europe. However, because of the European Union, of course, introducing sanctions on Russia, what we're currently going to see is a shift to other countries for wheat and grain. So a very big opportunity at this moment, for instance, is in South America. So South America also possesses a lot of wheat and grain, and what you're currently seeing is a shift of US companies into South America and buying wheat and grain over there. So for anyone wondering about my heritage, yes, I am half Brazilian. Thank you. This beautiful face was indeed semi-made in Brazil, but what we're currently seeing and what my family is currently seeing in Brazil is a 50 or 20 to 50% appreciation of current or some assets in that country. So what we're really seeing is that some emerging markets are doing really well. For instance, Brazil is doing very well due to the fact that they can also provide the West with wheat and grain. So always think in opportunities and not in problems. So try and focus on these kind of emerging markets which are really providing opportunities and solutions to the current problems in the European Union. So try and look if you can invest in wheat and grain, for instance, in South America, as it is likely that the European Union is going to have to shift its focus away from Russia. So yeah, a lot of political talk and a lot of blah, 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 maybe for some of you, but always interesting, in my opinion, to hear these kind of topics and discuss these kind of topics. So yeah, with that said, what is next for the dollar index? We could still, of course, see some further downside, pull back in towards supply, but essentially what we're going to be waiting for, of course, is a new higher high to be formed. So yeah, with that said, let's see what is going on with Aussie dollar first. And Aussie dollar, so Aussie dollar currently making that push back down. What you can really beautifully see is, of course, that my target yesterday got hit. I had a beautiful long on, I think from about over here somewhere. Fully closed it approximately in 50 pips profit. So a beautiful trade. But now seeing that push back down after taking liquidity above the trend line. Have been talking about this for a very long time now. So it didn't really react to this area of supply, but it did react to this area of supply over here, which was already filled once. Now the second time we came in deeper, took out liquidity, and have now seen that push back down. Currently, this is going to be your swing low to look out for, And once we see a push below that swing low and a close below it, wait for the pullback, and then look for a scale in to look for those further shorts. At the moment, no real opportunities to get into Aussie dollar because of the fact that the 4-hour is currently bullish. So I'm just going to be waiting for a 4-hour to flip bearish in line with the daily and the weekly trend to then look for those potential shorts. So daily is still bearish. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful to see how we tapped in towards that area of supply. So as you can see, these political and military situations aren't just a coincidence. They really coincide with supply and demand. So beautiful supply zone over here, really, really doing its thing. So what is next for euro dollar? Let's have a look. And euro dollar is currently seeing that pushback down. The euro is absolutely getting destroyed, kind of keeping it civil over here in my language. But yeah, euro dollar is absolutely getting pumped in towards the downside. What am I expecting? Well, of course, daily is still bearish. Weekly, we've been talking about this area of demand down below over here for a very long time now. This area of demand has already been taken out, so we are expecting further downside continuation in line with the daily and of course also the 4-hour trend. So the daily trend is identical to that of the 4-hour. Currently just waiting for the daily to start pushing down in towards that weekly supply demand zone, Looking at the 4-hour now, we can clearly see that that area of supply is in control. Now we formed a new area of supply over here, which took out all of these lows. So if we do see a pullback back up in towards the upside, I will be looking for a new shorting opportunity from this area of supply, just so that you guys know. So yeah, that is pretty much it for your dollar. If we make a pullback for the shorts to absolutely see the euro get hammered and destroyed. So yeah, with that said, let's over to pound dollar. And pound dollar is currently creating a new lower low. Beautiful scenes, yeah, as we can see, sadly didn't tap in towards that supply zone which I've been mentioning, but yeah, it is what it is. Currently, if we see close below this low, we have a new area of supply and a new 4-hour bearish trend. This is going to be your supply zone, this buy before the sell. So I will be looking for shorts if we see close below this low and then start to see a pullback in line with the overall and daily the daily and the weekly trend. So this area of daily supply has really been doing its thing. And now let's see if we can soon take out this low over here. So expecting some further downside on pound dollar in the near future. If we want to get involved, just wait for a pullback, because of course we're not going to get involved if we've just seen a massive push in towards the downside. Furthermore, look, if this is the market, where do we want to get involved? We want to get involved, of course, on lower highs or on higher lows. And at the moment, the market is just breaking this low over here. So what's happening? You don't want to enter over here, right? Where do we want to enter? We want to enter over here on the new lower high. So waiting to get involved furthermore, not really engaging with pound dollar at the moment, but I am expecting further downside. So yeah, that's that for pound dollar. Let's go to Kiwi dollar. And Kiwi dollar, so Kiwi dollar saw a push in towards our supply zone, mentioning it for a very long time, of course. Beautiful, beautiful scenes over here on the daily in towards supply now pushing price back downwards. 4-hour, yeah, we just tapped out of that area of 4-hour supply. So yeah, it is what it is. Not absolute perfection, but still perfection on the daily. Yeah, so not really any opportunity for me personally. Like I said, if we were to move up into towards that higher zone, I would have shorted it. But yeah, just not enough confluences here for me. Too much kind of like bullish price action coming in towards that zone. Not enough of a slowdown. Yeah, just expecting for the downside from Kiwi dollar for now. Not really expecting any strength from the Kiwi. So let's see what will happen. Currently kind of sitting on this trend line, even though I don't really use trend lines in this specific manner. But like I said, Kiwi dollar is also a bit of a difficult one because the 4-hour swing high is located over here. So 4-hour swing low is located over here. So yeah, we can't really get involved. Just wait for the lower time frame to kind of flip bearish. Quickly looking at the 15-minute, I would say that, yeah, the 15-minute is bearish, but yeah, look, so we broke this low over here. Then I would have looked for a short from this location, never reached it. So yeah, kind of now it's pretty late into the run, not really seeing anything really beautiful about Kiwi dollar. So I would just skip that for now. Yeah, just leave Kiwi dollar for what it is, but we are expecting further downside in line with the overall 4-hour and daily trend. So yeah, with that said, let's over to our last pair, which is gold. And gold, so gold has reached our supply zone pretty much as anticipated. From here we can see a further downside move. Just keep in mind the current political situation and military situation really has its massive effect. That's why we also saw that massive pump, of course. But yeah, it is looking good for a pullback from this region. Let's see if tensions can kind of slow down today, and that we can kind of engage with a gold short very soon. Not really trying to call any gold shorts at the moment, but it is looking good for a potential pullback. Let's see. I'm gonna take a read after this recording, so update you guys where I can. But yeah, it is looking good for a potential pullback as we are in daily supply and also in 4-hour supply. So yeah, guys, that was it for today. A bit of a different episode. Again, I just want to ask you all to stay safe. It's a very strange world at the moment. But yeah, wish you all the best, and let's speak soon. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask them in the Discord server. Thanks, guys.